What is a sexual question you have always wanted to ask but never had the right opportunity?
When someone comes inside you, do you feel it, or is that a lie made up by erotica writers and comic artists? Edit. Thank you for the silver.
Yes, but not in the way you think. I can't feel the cum itself but a warm sensation. So it doesn't feel like pouring water on your hand or something. I can't feel individual streams, droplets.
I've always noticed the guy gets a lil harder right before, then the pulsing movement. It's like feeling the pulse through the dick. So it's not so much about feeling the cum itself, more the dick spasms.
Me, a virgin, reading this thread, yes I know the sex, very good.
You know, when you grab a woman's breast and you feel it and it feels like a bag of sand when you're touching it.
Yes, I love the feeling of a woman's breast.
Why do guys feel exhausted after a blowjob like I just sucked his living soul out of him?
It's a natural response, so the females can eat the male's head off without him trying to escape. Edit. Wow, thanks for the gold.
I don't like how much sense this makes.
I've had multiple female partners tell me that they enjoy getting their nipples sucked on. Getting my nipples sucked on does nothing for me. Does this actually feel good for women, or is it just that you enjoy watching your partner get off while sucking on your nipples?
Depends on the woman. It doesn't do anything for me and can even be uncomfortable if he's too rough.
It does nothing for me too. I don't dislike it, but I'm not getting anything more out of it than someone sucking my shoulder blade. Lots of women do like it though, so it's best to just ask if you're not sure.
Is it true that it's dangerous to have sex in a pool? And while we're on the subject of water, does anyone actually enjoy shower sex? Because that is the most impossibly awkward thing I have ever attempted.
Shower sex is pretty awkward, but I once had one of those old-person shower bars that we could hold onto and it worked well. Still the problem of the water washing away the natural lubrication, but it was basically just good foreplay.
Yeah, I can see it being great foreplay, but full-on sex was super difficult and not as hot as it looks in the movies, hahaha.
When gay men have sex, how do they know whose penis opens up to accept the other penis? Edit. If I had 2 Reddit golds and I was trapped in a room with Toby, Bin Laden and Hitler, I wouldn't give any to Toby. Thanks for the gold.
What's it called when 2 gay men intertwine their penises, like the snakes on the MedicAlert bracelets? Is it called redvining?
We heard it's called redvining.
What does the male orgasm feel like? Whenever I ask, the guy says, it's the best feeling, or, it feels good. That doesn't tell me anything. What areas feel good? What does it feel like, in detail? What's it like before, during, after? What does the rest of your body feel like? What does your brain feel like during? Compare it to stuff, give me metaphors, write a poem or something. Edit. Thanks for all the comments and the silvers. You guys are so poetic. I loved reading all your answers. Thanks for being so descriptive. Nobody in my life had ever described it as a sneeze, but that seems to be the consensus here, which I find intriguing.
It's like a really good fucking sneeze. Complete with that same build-up sort of tingle, but obviously in the dick area. Each spurt is like a mini shot of endorphins rushing through your brain, quickly followed by the most clear-headed you'll be all day.
That's why the phrase post-nut clarity exists. I've only kissed a fair amount of times in my life, but not enough that I have a solid frame of reference as to what makes a good kiss and what makes a bad kiss. So, what would y'all say makes a good kiss, good kisser?
Keep your tongue soft and don't just jam it in their mouth. Not too much saliva. I have no idea how to explain this, tbh. I think the main thing is somebody who is responsive to their partner's reactions, and does like those little things, touching their hair, their arm, pulling away to kiss their neck, etc. Chemistry, I think, is the biggest thing. When y'all just click, that shit is bomb.
Yes to keeping your tongue soft. There is nothing worse than a hardened tongue trying to poke its little tongue head inside your mouth hole.
Women, how would you describe a penis entering your vagina? It's something I'm genuinely curious about as a male, especially because I will, literally, never get to experience it. Things up your ass can be a universal experience, things up your vagina, not so much.
I don't see many answers, so let me try. If I'm really turned on, I can feel this sensation inside my body. Sometimes it's literally aching, and sometimes it's like when your stomach drops, but drawn out and down in your lower abdomen. When foreplay progresses to the actual penetration, the first thrust is always the most intense. I think it's the pressure and resistance before things get more relaxed and stimulated. It's like how the first bite of food is usually the most enjoyable. Different men definitely feel differently. I'm not referring to technique but anatomy, cut, uncut, width, angle, general structure. I think the closest comparison would be anal, but for lack of a better description, smoother. You can feel everything entering, but past a point, the only sensation is pressure. They're more distinguishable sensation further in than anal though. It's comfortably warm and smooth compared to fingers or toys.
This is the closest to my experience too, the feeling of something in your stomach dropping especially. It's hot.
Can balls actually retract inside the body?
Deleted.
OR flex tape flexed biceps. Women, if you stick cold things like if you put a toy in the freezer inside of yourself, does it feel good on a hot day or is it uncomfortable? I'd imagine it's uncomfortable, but getting cooled from the inside also seems nice.
Tried it once. Cold to the point of painful. Take an ice cube and hold it against your gum line, that's about how fun it was.
Gar cold face.
Are there any other women out there who don't really feel anything internally? Like I feel like my vagina has no nerve endings and certainly no G-spot. Am I alone here?
Internally definitely doesn't have a lot to offer me during sex. I've tried playing with my G-spot while doing it, but I find it doesn't do much, especially compared to a clit. Sometimes penetration can be nice addition to clitoral stimulation, almost like nipple play or kissing my neck, but it doesn't do much on its own.
My long-term GF is the exact same. Any tips for getting busy? Outside of just clitoral and foreplay.
I am most likely gonna regret it, but what does cum taste like? Like not good or bad, I mean like is it fucking vanilla flavored?
Warm raw egg yolks, salt, bleach, and ball sack smell all mixed together.
That's incredibly accurate.
Not a question, answer, but this whole Reddit post is the best sex ed I've had in my entire life.
Yeah, I'm learning more here than any class from school.
I learned a lot about sex in school. I love being a teacher.
Are circle jerks really a thing? I have always wanted to know.
A guy the first knew in college supposedly did a literal circle jerk with his baseball team in high school. I feel like that's not something you lie about.
How does that come up in conversation? Haha, that reminds me of their one time in high school when me and the old baseball team got together in a circle and beat off together.
Will I ever have sex in my life?
No one on Reddit gets laid.
Gotta break both arms before you can.
Do gay people choose who's going to perform each role? Do girls actually like giving blowjobs? Last but not least, WTF is squirt?
Squirt is a soda.
Get the superior ruby red flavor.
What does a female orgasm feel like? Never had one. My libido has been dead for years.
I've never had one from sex, and for years I thought I wasn't missing out on much. Then I got a vibrator and holy shit, I was wrong. It's just incredible. It kind of feels like you're going to pee at first, at least that's what I thought with my first one, but then you just go with it and your vagina contracts over and over anywhere from 5 to 20 seconds or so. Kind of reminds me of when your heart thuds in your chest, except it feels good, haha, while the most pleasurable waves shoot throughout your entire body, even into the fingertips. Then afterwards I feel a pleasant tingling at the base of my skull, in my spine. I always thought girls moaning uncontrollably during orgasms in porn was fake for the camera, but no, it's real. It feels so good I can never keep quiet, lol.
I could have written this. I never ever used to masturbate and I thought that most girls didn't. Then I got a clitoral stimulator and orgasmed for the first time. I use it 3 to 4 times a week now and come over 10 times in an hour or so.
How does it feel for a guy to cum?
It's a slow build-up of an amazing sensation that comes to a very quick end with a feeling of pushing out the last bit of pee after holding it for a long time. Then the pleasure feeling usually ends unless your partner is doing extra work.
Also, during this build-up, you lose all sense of what is right or wrong civilly, and only afterwards do you really say, did I just jack off to that, if it wasn't the best.
Does anyone else get turned on by semi-forceful sex, not just assuming it is consensual but knowing, and doing so with a trusted partner? I feel like it's stigmatized because of the obvious implications. I just feel like it's possible to be into that, but still be a normal, sane, peaceful individual.
Consensual non-consent fetish or just aggressive sex. Hot.
I always called it rape play.
Right, so here it goes. Right, you know how normally water doesn't just enter the vagina. But what if we just open the hole and start pouring water in there, how much until they explode? Actually, while I'm on it, since sound is a vibration, couldn't I sexually arouse a female by shouting extremely hard? Also, do you think Area 51 will have some high-tech dildo shit?
Since sound is a vibration, couldn't I sexually arouse a female by shouting extremely hard? If only I had a nickel for every time I screamed at my wife's vagina.
Please tell me the outcome of your research, fellow scientist.
How do people even find out what fetishes they are into? Like the cutting ones.
I was watching an episode of Rainbow Bright when I was 7 years old and one of the characters got kidnapped and stuck in a cage hanging from a tree. I had no idea what was happening, but I just had to watch it over and over. Looking back, every single movie or TV show I loved growing up had some kind of kidnapping scene. I'd watch and rewatch movies I didn't even like just for the one scene. Didn't discover even the word bondage until middle school, but still knew I had the fetish. A fetish isn't something you can plan for, it comes unexpectedly. It's just as normal to not have any as it is to have many. To this day I've watched porn videos that did it for me and I had no idea going into it.
Are you me? I don't know when mine started, but I remember playing with Barbies and always enacting kidnapping, gagging scenarios, and apparently I've known since I was 10 that I was into freaky shit.
People who haven't